Big changes on the defensive side of the ball. All 4 teams in the NFC East will have a new defensive coordinator this season, the first time that's happened in the division since 2012. Dan Quinn left the Cowboys to take the Commanders' head coaching job, was replaced by Mike Zimmer in Dallas. Quinn then hired Joe Witt as his DC in Washington. The Eagles fired Sean Desai and replaced him with Vic Fangio. The Giants and Wink Martindale parting ways, and New York replaced him with Shane Bowen. Time to go on trend, where I'll present a stat on each of these defenses, and our crew is going to tell you whether that trend continues or not. We'll start in Dallas, where the Cowboys defense led the NFL in takeaways during Dan Quinn's 3 seasons as their DC under Quinn. Dallas pressured opposing quarterbacks on 36% of their dropbacks, the highest rate in the NFL. Booger, can the Cowboys defense keep this up with Quinn no longer there?
Yes, I think they can, but I'm going to have a caveat. The caveat is simply this: can Mike Zimmer's new defense stop the run? And that's going to be up to, I think, defensive tackle, first-round pick from 2023, Mozzie Smith. All accounts is he's having a good offseason. We know where Micah Parsons is going to be. We know where DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be. If they can stop the run, they got some dogs on that defense that can get after the quarterback. That will be the key. Can they stop the run? The last time we saw them, Green Bay ran it down their throat.
All right, to Washington, the Commanders allowed over 30 points per game last season, nearly 4 points worse than any other team. It's also the most points per game that Washington has allowed in a season since the 1950s. Acho, will Dan Quinn go from Dallas to Washington to turn around this Commanders defense?
He will. He will stop the bleeding that we're seeing right now, that we're seeing in Washington. Why? Because of some of the stars he got during the draft. Jerjon Newton from Illinois, interior player, one of the most disruptive defensive linemen in the draft, to go along with guys like Daron Payne, who are already on that roster. And then Mike Sainristil from Michigan, the national champion. Put him in the slot. He's another one of these great defenders who you're going to see step up in this defense. Bobby Wagner in the middle, all of a sudden, defense will go from worst to maybe not first, but better.
Next up, New York. Under Wink Martindale last season, the Giants blitzed opposing quarterbacks at the 2nd highest rate in the NFL. However, despite such a high blitz rate, the Giants ranked in the bottom 10 in the NFL, both sacks and pressure rate. Booger, you expect the Giants' pass rush to be better this season?
Yes, I think their pass rush will be better. I don't think they're going to blitz as much. That's the reason you go out and you get Brian Burns from Carolina. You pay him a ton of money. You think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to take that next step. And, oh, by the way, they got the best nose tackle in football in Dexter Lawrence. So that front 4 should be absolutely dominant. And if your front 4 is getting to the quarterback, that means you don't have to blitz as much. I think it's going to be as much pressure, just a different way in New York.
Now to Philly. I apparently dressed for the occasion. The Eagles' defense was one of the worst in the NFL last season, especially when it came to defending the pass. The Eagles allowed nearly 253 passing yards per game, 2nd worst in the NFL, ahead of only the Commanders, and they allowed 35 touchdown passes, only came away with 9 interceptions. Acho, we know the Eagles invested 4 draft picks on this side of the ball. Does that lead this defense to bouncing back in 2023?
No, it's not the draft picks. It's the coordinator that they invested in. They went and got Vic Fangio, and he's going to lead them back to significantly better. I played under Vic Fangio for 4 years, and yes, the draft picks will matter. Jalix Hunt, who they got, I believe, in the 3rd round, is going to be a dominant player in Vic's system. That's going to be a big pick. Obviously, the 2 corners that they got as well, those are going to be 2 big picks. Cooper DeJean could play in the slot, but more than anything, it's Vic. Vic really helped create the 3-4 defense, so he's going to help install that in this system. Not going to be someone who learned from Vic. It's going to be Vic doing it himself.
We'll have a chance to see those changes begin to take shape in 4 months.